What was that?
He-
Whoa, what was that, Shao? Don't get, if you can't handle the heat, don't get in the what?
Uh, I said heat again.
Don't get in the heat.
So
Sound
good.
advice. If you can't handle the heat,
Um,
don't get in the heat, you know?
all right, let's start
It's
over.
logical.
Three, two, one.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Hayden, you have a funny story about Spider-Man?
I do. So I was down at some park in Poco on Friday for
Okay,
Alex's
anyways.
birthday. And
Um,
that's how I knew about the Edmonton Oilers game. I had no clue that it was even on. But some dad was there with his kids, and you could tell that he was obviously either the middle child or the second, like the last child, so no one listened to him. So he had one of those voices that's like always loud, even though I'm sure he doesn't mean to be. So everybody knew
Right.
what he was watching on his phone or what was going on. I was just like,
Hayden, are you a middle child or a baby?
I'm the second, I'm the baby.
yeah,
Alright.
after Luke.
That's why you're so loud and we can never get you to stop talking.
Oh, you should see
I
how
know,
my brother
it's
is.
just-
Then you would be like, yeah, he is the loud child.
Yeah. Speaking of fathers, so the pre-Father's Day to everyone listening, to Justin, to you, a little
Oh, thank
pre-Father's
you.
Day celebration. Do you guys have
Thank
anything?
you.
Do you let your family plan everything, or do you even get involved in that as a surprise? Do they make you breakfast, that kind of thing?
You know what, man? Like, I'm so happy you brought this up because I don't know, man. We don't really do that stuff. No. My Father's Day. Okay, well, yeah, they usually do. I guess maybe get me make me a little card or do some. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
um,
something.
they're awesome. The kids are awesome. We don't do anything. I'm not like a celebration guy. I don't really like it. Not that I don't
Yeah,
like
I
it. Like,
don't
I
get
just
it.
don't. I just don't care. Yeah, it's like, meh. They want to make me breakfast, and you know, only be asked twice to do something instead of three, four, five, six times. Like that
Oh,
is good
nice.
enough for me.
Yeah.
But no, this Father's Day it was Elsie's birthday yesterday, so she just turned 6,
Oh, happy
and
birthday.
so
Oh, hey, happy birthday to Elsie.
her party is on Father's Day, so get to go host. I don't know. We invited her class. I don't know how many people in her class, like 19 people. So I'll be dealing with that on Father's Day.
Nice.
Uh,
19 6-year-olds. All those
I
other
don't know
fathers are
how many.
probably like, heck yeah, thank goodness for this one dad taking
No,
all of the kids.
no, because that's the nice thing is she's still at the age where it's not drop off. Like parents still stay.
Uh-huh.
So, and then we're going right from that immediately to Jocelyn's year-end gala for gymnastics.
Ooh, gala. Fancy. I like that.
Yeah, they do so they break up into sort of all the different levels and then they all put together like a little team floor routine slash dance to a song that they all perform for the parents and whoever's there, and then they have like an award ceremony and they hand out all the the awards and stuff for the for the gym. So
Right.
that's my Father's Day.
That sounds well, can't wait to hear a follow-up next week on how that goes.
Yeah, yeah. Um, no, it's gonna be good. I got I don't know, can you see this brown stain on my shirt?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right here. That's not part of the tie dye, by the way.
Oh.
I got shit on by a bird, so
So good luck's coming
that's
your
good luck,
way.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
yeah, the event was going to today. We ended up bailing. Still paid the babysitter for the whole time, so pay cost me $60. Got shit on by a bird, and then right when I was sitting down to do this with you boys, I got a knock on my door from my neighbor, and a couple junkies started setting up shop in front of right across from my front door. So we had to go
When
deal with
you
that.
when you said
So,
dealing with some
so Father's Day
junkies,
is gonna be great. Yeah.
because ladies and gentlemen, we usually start at a certain time, and two of us are usually very punctual. And then Justin, out of nowhere, says he's going to be late because he's dealing with some junkies. So when you said junkies, I didn't know you meant that in a literal sense. I thought you were doing some like junk, like throwing the trash or cleaning up or junk mail or whatever it is. But you have to step up and go all father mode and kick them off your lawn, hey? Nice. Were they right? Like, were they literally on, on your property, just like shooting up and stuff? Or what?
You've been to my place once before, right?
Yes, I have. Couple times.
So, when you come in there, like for the entrance, the first unit is me.
Yep.
So when you come in there, they're just on the other side, like just across. So not on my side, but on the other side, like on the curb, like in the bushes. Like there's a cab parked out for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden these two people come out, barely can hold themselves, staggering, and then they kind of like plop down. They just look wrecked, like not drunk, but like cooked, you know. And anyway, so so we had to go, and first I didn't know how we were gonna handle it, to be honest. My neighbor was he handled it like a true pro, but he actually works for the city of New West, so in the park, so he has to deal with this type of stuff. But he was just kind of like used to encounters like that, but he's just kind of like, hey, you know, you guys weren't like planning on setting up here, or weren't setting up here for the night or something like that. And the girl was like, oh no, oh no, we're just leaving, no, absolutely not, no. And she gets up and leaves, and then the guy, he was just kind of kicking around, and he wasn't really going, and he's like, oh man, like go look after your girl, like you better go look after your girl. And then he's just taking so long. So my neighbor kind of walked down the road and went to like our shed area. And then I kind of was waiting, just standing, you know, my front yard, just kind of waiting, watching him. And then I went to talk to my neighbor, and we were talking about something else that had happened earlier today in the neighborhood. Anyways, and we walked back, and it's kind of like he knew we were keeping an eye on him. So it's like he's trying to take so long. And my neighbor's like, do we just call the police for trespassing? And we were walking back, and I just said to him, like, hey man, like, you know, you need to go look after your girl or have her look after you, one of the two, but it's time to go. Have a good night. And he's just like, and he kind of like took a couple steps towards me, like as if he was going to engage in a conversation. And I was like, have a good night. And then I turned, and he walked away. So
nice.
And you know what, it's like, okay,
very civil,
yeah. And I'm glad that they didn't escalate it, because that's when it's like, okay, you know. And we have all these, because this is like, people don't normally knock on our door at this time, like so his kids were watching through the window, and my kids were peeping through the window. So you got all these like little kid eyes like peering through the window, and then one of his kids comes out and is like, oh, I'm gonna do this now, and like brings the compost out. It's like just trying to see what's going on. Anyways,
oh man, well, glad that's over for you.
You know what, I shouldn't say junkies, I should say, quick, does anybody know the PC word for that? I'm down on my PC game. Drug users, addicts,
drug addicts.
But then you're also assuming that they're on something.
Oh, dude, come on. Yeah, I am, but I'm 100% sure.
Imagine they're just really dehydrated and they just want some water, and they're just kind of losing their mind a little bit.
That guy
they're about to walk towards just one glass of have a nice day.
Good night.
Yeah.
But you tap
You know, when I got
outside.
the pond too, they could have come and lapped up in the pond like the freaking raccoon keeps doing. I'm at war.
Oh.
I'm at war with Mother Nature, and you know what? I can't get into it right now.
Peter's listening. Speaking of one group of individuals that are somewhat enhanced through the system flowing through their bloodstream to another. It was terribly butchered, but I
You had it though.
I had it. It was somewhere there, but I lost it. But talking of enhancements, the one thing that I wanted to get into this week, the enhancement games is something I came across recently, and I'm not going to talk about that specifically because I don't want to, but the idea of it was something that I was curious about. For those of you that don't know what it is, the Enhancement Games is some organization backed by scientists and sports medicine apparently where they want to see what the peak of human performance is, I guess. And
Right.
if you so choose, you can be juiced up to the eyeballs to get the best performance out of your chosen sport. And if you are to break a world record, you get a nice, purse for it. So there's a couple of, not famous athletes, but I know that there's a couple of Australian swimmers, or a swimmer, one of our top swimmers is taking like the year off to do this so that he doesn't get any doping bans from the proper community. So he's jacked now. He looks freaking redonkulously huge. But he's going
Right.
for a world record, so he gets the money. But anyway, I wanted to discuss with you fellas, do you think things like this are ruining what it means to be like an athlete? Do you think peak performance naturally should be what we aim for? Or do you think there is room for, lack of a better word, juiced up athletes? And should they compete together, or should they be separated like these people are trying to do?
They cannot compete together. No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This is my I love the idea of pushing boundaries, especially when it relates to what can the human body be capable of,
Mhm.
whether that's on something or not. Like, what are we capable of humans? So like that part really interests me, and I'd definitely watch. My only concern with this is, why do we watch the NHL but we don't watch the AHL? Or why do we watch the NFL but not the CFL, Or why do we watch if Team Canada was playing, or Team Australia in your case, Hayden, or your home, like in soccer, Hayden, for you, and hockey for us, Shao,
Yeah.
and your hometown team was playing at even a professional level, the highest professional level, what would you go see there at the same time? Which one would you watch?
Nations game.
You'd probably watch Nations. Why? Because it is the best of the best, right? So my only concern is if they go this way, and I don't think it would be immediate, but I'd be worried that at some point in time, that's all people would want to watch, because it would be the best. And you want to see the best. You want to see the best competition. Hey, man, he's running the 100 meters in 9 seconds. This guy's doing it in fucking 7.5. Are you kidding me? I'm watching that race, man. So I just wonder if that would take away from the people that don't want to do it. So that would be my only concern. So it's finding that balance, because yeah, man, it would be pretty cool to see, but I would worry in the long run that you're just not going to see. But you know what? Maybe like anything in human evolution, whether it's physical, biological, or technical, whatever, I think once you go there, maybe you look back for a while, but then you just don't look back. That's just the new norm. So that's kind of my initial thoughts on it.
Well, yeah, there's no way they can compete together. And I think a while ago, actually quite a few years ago, Bill Burr said something about this, and just to let them have a league where this league allows certain regulations on doping, but allow athletes to just see how far they can go. And that's an interesting point, Justin. I don't know if you're right. Maybe down the line, people might just watch I don't know what the league is called, Hayden, but like the doping league or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It.
The,
Sure, it
the
should be called
Enhancement League.
Doped up.
Yeah,
Doped
the
up.
Enhancement League. I'd watch it for that reason, the same thing you just said. He can run it in 7 seconds. Hell yeah, I want to see that. But it would be a separate thing, because if he is dubbed the fastest person in the world, there's always going to be an asterisk, right? You kind of do want to see what a human is capable of without the aid of steroids or whatever. But it's interesting because remember that year where I think it's Ian Thorpe wore that full bodysuit, and then they
Yeah.
say it's supposed to help because the bodysuit had little. It's kind of modeled after a shark skin, right? They had little teeth ridges that make it more aerodynamic. I'm not sure if it actually helped in the end, but there's certain technological advancements that can help and make an athlete perform better, and that's something I thought about too, because you see Olympic sports like archery or something like that, where they kind of look like cyborgs now, and I'm not sure how much of it is actually just full on a person skill versus relying a little bit on what they're using in gear and stuff like that too. So I do know back in the day at Olympics, like very, very, very first one, I believe I read that athletes performed naked with no sort of help or anything. And then obviously then you start incorporating athletic wear. The shoes make a huge difference. Cleats, running with cleats is obviously better than no cleats. So that part of it also is like, well, I'm okay with running cleats, but then some people might, if we're talking about the debate between pure human performance and having some help with gear or whatever, then do cleats also count as, oh, he's using something to help? You know what I mean? Yes. I don't know if that really makes sense. So I don't really know where I draw the line with that, but I guess in terms of drug use and doping, yeah, just keep them separate, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the MLB was probably the most famous of professional sports that had huge doping issues, and they were just cracking home runs, and then they're like, hang on, this isn't normal. What's going on here? So they checked into it. Same with certain gymnastics teams in the 80s and 90s. Like, why are some of them performing so fantastically better than others?
Because our athletes are fantastically better than others.
Yes, that's right.
That's the only reason. Hey, your family might not be safe after this. Watch what you say.
See, now you've just given me an idea for a little bit. You see, we can do a Russian gymnast coach versus a Chinese gymnast coach.
I'll be the Chinese.
Oh yeah, if you want to, who's gonna win the gold medal in the enhancement games?
No question. That question funny to me. What do you mean, who gonna win? We gonna take it.
Oh, you mean Chinese?
Chinese what?
Chinese only believe in gold medal. Gold medal only.
Oh, yeah. Problem is Chinese gold metal, not real metal. You try to scam us. It's not real gold.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Gold.
We don't need any drug. We are so against drug. We only train 20 hours a day.
I forgot all about the opium dens that you have around your country. Don't believe in drug, you say. Don't believe a word that come out of this motherfucker mouth.
You are competing in the enhancement games.
This would be a great if enhancement games have.
I double dare.
You know what I mean? Like the face-offs, like what they do with UFC before.
Oh yeah,
that'd be so good. That'd be
for
so
every
good.
sport. That'd be awesome.
Every sport. But yeah, I would definitely check it out. Yeah. I'm so curious. I am curious as to how it go. It could be a huge flop too. I don't know. Some people would be so against it, but
I am one of those people. I don't think it's no.
I think it would take a while to catch on. Yeah.
Yeah, you need.
They have to market. They'd have to market it. I think they'd have to almost get like a big. Yeah, exactly.
You do need people to start
like big
breaking
name,
the rules.
You need to get big name behind it.
I'm not breaking the rules, breaking records, and then people will then start maybe checking it out. But at the end of the day, I do think that you probably have more Haydens out there who are like, no, like doping's wrong.
Don't like doping. It's not that I don't like doping, right? See,
I can tell.
I'm so juiced. But like, if you think about it, so like an example I was coming up with when I was going to talk about this was, say, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everybody was always like, he was on roids, and then he was not. But then when he wrote his book, he was like, when steroids came out, some bodybuilders were using it, and I wanted to know if they were having an edge over me, so I checked it out too. So he did use it, but not continuously, because he's like, I can do this without it. And so he's a prime example of that the human body can achieve greatness without the use of enhancements. And I
know you love Arnold, but you don't believe that, do you? Come on.
That he stopped using it?
Steroids for sure.
That's what I just said. He admitted to taking them, but he didn't
Stayed on 'em.
continue taking them.
Once I got my body huge, I stopped taking them.
Yeah. Once I got there. It's an interesting read. You should read it. He started when he was very young and he got very big. But anyway, that's not my point. The point is that I get what you're saying, Justin and Shao, about how you would like to see what the human body's capable of. But my, I guess, concern for the athletes is that the human body can only do so much. And if you push it beyond what it can do, you're risking harm to the person doing it. It's like, yeah, you get those initial not reactions, but those achievements, and then they just conk out. Like, I'm not going to link the two together, but there's a lot of like young athletes that are having cardiac arrest in sports now, like in the young 20 years that I've never seen before. And I'm like, why is that? Is that their body physically can't cope with being pushed to levels of, professional athlete, or what? Or is there underlying health conditions? So stuff like that would concern
they need
me.
the drugs to help them. They need the drugs to help them.
They need the drugs to help
A little bit of juice and you'd be good.
Yeah, but, I mean, and again, going back to bodybuilding, so many of those dudes look amazing, and then they'll like keel over dead at 36 from liver damage because of all of the shit that they put into their bodies to look good. So there would be, obviously, with the help of something like the enhancement games, where it is a bunch of sports scientists with them, they would obviously monitor all of that. But if it became the norm, like you suggest, Justin, where there would be like two different sort of leagues eventually, I think I would lose interest in that. I would be like, I want to see what a quote-unquote normal person is able to push themselves to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and I think there will be that. I think there would be like a divide. Some would like both. Some would be against the drug one. Some would be for the drug one, not necessarily against the other one, but just, it's not as good competition. But here's what I think.
There's your enhancement.
You make a point of saying, like, you don't know what it would do, or we shouldn't push our bodies beyond what humans are capable of. And here's where I'm going to disagree with that, because, depending on what you believe, but think of what humans used to once be, and think of what we are now. If we only stayed capable of within our body or whatever stage of evolution we were in, we wouldn't be where we are here. We're constantly, as humans, as we've evolved over, even the last 50,000 years, we've pushed beyond what we think our capabilities are. So I just think it's the next step.
But it shouldn't be chemically evolving us.
Yeah, we're just speeding up the process.
We're just speeding it
bro.
up.
Like, come on, we're not going to be here for fucking 50 million years.
And when have we ever done, when has ever speeding it up been proper, been good for us?
Oh, yeah. You know what?
I just want to see someone
there's
run.
There's people willing to do it. Let them do it.
Let them do it.
We don't have to do it. We can watch them do it. And if they all keel over dead, we'll be like, well, I'm glad we didn't do that.
Well, once those athletes start
it was entertaining.
dying and stuff like that, I would imagine that people would be more educated on why they shouldn't do it, and there'd be more bans, and maybe the whole thing will get shut down. It might be one of those like XFL experiments where a league starts and then it seems like a good idea, but it just dies after a couple of years.
Yeah.
Someone will take it on. Maybe like the slap competitions, they'll take it on. Enhanced slap competition.
Oh, okay. Actually,
how is that still a thing? I can't imagine. Well, I mean, it's fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie, but then
what would be the gnarliest? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
No, I'm just saying it's insane that that's a thing still. I remember when I first saw it, I was, oh my gosh, and it was the slow motion of when the contact hits and then the before and after, but there's just so much to risk. I don't know exactly all the rules, but I also know if you cup your hands slightly and hit in the wrong spot, you can lose your hearing. You know what I mean? There's certain things that, and just constantly slapped that hard on the head. It's just, what, do they not get concussions from slaps? I don't get it.
I don't see how you could not get a concussion from that, man. Those people are getting rocked, dude. Like CTE in the next 5 years for sure. Look out, spouses. What do you think? Because you bring up like when you say the slap thing, like, instantly I went to like the juiced up games. Like, what would be some gnarly things to watch of like people juiced up? I think some of the fighting ones would be pretty like old school MMA, like bare knuckle, anything goes, like juiced up people in like in the octagon. Let's go.
Yeah.
That'd be like
Yeah.
old school gladiators without weapons, just full on just
Ooh,
brawling.
weapons. Even better idea, Hayden. Just start
Here we
throwing.
go. Now we're talking.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like where this is going.
Yeah, that's a good.
What else?
I think a lot of track and field stuff would be interesting to. Yeah, like
See,
the
that would be
fastest
interesting.
one.
I'm thinking of like, like holy shit, like
What if someone just launches a javelin into the stands? You know.
No one's allowed in front of the javelin.
Yeah.
why is
All
there
the
no
hammer
seating
throws.
in section J? That's bullshit. Let's sit there anyway. Look how close those seats are to the field.
Yeah, or the world's strongest man. Yeah, I mean they're still already monsters, or as it is. The guy who plays Mountain. That I don't know what it's called. The event where it's a really high bar and you have to throw something over behind you. I guess.
Oh, the Highland Games thing. What is
Oh, the
that called?
caber toss.
Is that what it's called? You
Yeah.
just toss it and it has to clear the bar.
Oh
That's
no, this
insane.
is the tree, the log that is the caber. What about like a dodgeball?
Oh,
Just
Nice.
hurling
Or
like
like-
medicine balls at people. Not a dodgeball. Like
Yeah,
something
yeah.
Yeah, it can't be a
heavier.
dodgeball.
5 kilo
Yes.
dodgeballs. There you go. This,
Yeah.
now we're cooking, boys.
yeah, I like that.
Some other good ones.
Yeah.
Have any
If
of
you
the
think of
like?
any good ones, let us know. Let us know some good ones if you come up with some.
If it's Olympic sports, like you've got your rugby. If you had enhanced rugby, that would be.
Ooh,
You'd need helmets for sure.
I think people would die. I don't
Depends
know.
on like if they kept the rules of the how you're supposed to tackle, it would just be bigger hits. Just like it would be
Yes.
True.
body on body slap like. But yeah, any of the wrestling, bare knuckle boxing would be like insane. Or if you
Yeah.
did the martial arts, you could have full on like Street Fighter things. Here's an actual tornado kick, like.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good. Like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
boys. How about golf?
I, li-
Go.
I
How
just
far
thought
do they hit the ball?
Yeah. When you get that big, though, I guess you can train you're doing golf. I think you sent out the thing, Hayden, to us before with the swimmer.
Yeah.
Where his
Lats are
lats
just-
you were just, it's like a wing. Yeah, he can probably go fucking, what do you call it? Skydiving with that. What do you call it? The squirrel suit.
Yeah.
Did I send you the video of that guy doing that?
With
I think
the
I did.
squirrel suit thing?
Yeah, it's this guy and he does it, and it's very cool because he's got one of those GoPros that goes on your head. And the video itself, I must have watched it like 4 or 5 times, and it's a pretty long video. And he goes down and he skims so close. Anyways, and then I sent it, I guess, just to my one buddy, and he's like, "Yeah, I saw this earlier, but I didn't know if it was real or I thought it was fake because the way the video looked." But that's just how those GoPro things look. Because I was like, "No, there's other footage of it," and I sent him, and it's like from tourists that were kind of like, I don't know, doing a hike or whatever, and this guy in a squirrel suit just comes and buzzes him, man. It's gnarly. I'll send you the video after. I'll post it on socials too.
I can't imagine the first guy doing that.
Yeah, I know.
It probably wasn't the
Maybe
first
over
guy.
water.
He definitely wasn't, but then you have the idea of seeing a flying squirrel or whatever, and you make the suit out of whatever to mimic the shape of the flying squirrel. But how do you test those? I don't get it. How I don't
Small
really
heights.
know how you,
In the
I
water.
guess, but still, but you need enough height and speed to really make it go, right? I think I'm not. good with
His is like it's a
aerodynamics,
big
but-
drop first, and then he kind of opens up because I guess you got to create the pressure difference in the. Then you probably need speed to do that, right? Because it's when it's like the wing, right? You get the low pressure and the high pressure.
Oh, safety.
Ciao. Anyways, so I imagine, yeah, you'd have to have a fall. And I was gonna say, well, you have a parachute on, but I guess by the time you find out the suit's not working, you're probably too close to the ground to pull the chute
Yeah.
anyway. So yeah, nobody knows who was the first one to try it really.
Oh, that'd be yeah.
There could have been quite a few who tried it for the first time.
Like the first plane until they got it right.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
a little bit different.
That's-
What's
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
if they're pushing the plane off a cliff to test it first, maybe.
yeah. Squirrel suits.
Squirrels.
Squirrels. That was a squirrel moment right there. Squirrel. So, and to conclude this little discussion with you boys, there are benefits to it, I guess, for entertainment value, and then there is also, I guess, a sports science value to it. My brain just thinks that someone's going to try and monetize it and then just push it to a boundary. I think it could cause all kinds of different leagues appearing just for money's sake, which could be harmful to athletes, unless they start getting paid better. I don't know. But the whole concept of it for me now, because I haven't seen it, and I'm always afraid of the unknown. So I don't know enough about it to be not afraid of it. Because I'm an athlete myself. Got that one.
So Hayden,
pack
would you say
keg.
you're a little bit on the fence with it?
No. I'm completely on the side of I don't like it, but I will give it a chance to prove itself, and then I'll still not like it, or I'll be like, okay, I can see what they're trying to do here. But right now, I'm firmly on. I don't like this. I like my athletes to be normal, exceptional humans that push themselves to the upper echelon of our natural capabilities.
So this league is already a thing, right? You were saying
Yeah,
the
I think
swimmer is already
it's-
training for it.
I think it's the second year. I think.
Oh, okay.
So I like your conclusion, Hayden, but it led to one follow-up question I had, and I'm hoping I can ask it quickly here before we move on.
I'm actually in the middle of a fast. I don't know if you guys have fasted before. I'm not sure why I'm trying this. Partly it's because I want to test if I can do it, like mentally. I'm doing a 36-hour one, and I'm almost at 24 hours now, and I'm quite hungry.
I hear that's
I
a
can eat
drink.
tomorrow at noon. I can drink water, and I've been drinking this kind of tea thing. That's all I've been drinking. But man, I'm hungry. But I hear you read all these benefits and health benefits that is scientifically proven that your body starts doing certain things when it reaches 12 or 15 hours without food, and then like the 20th hour starts breaking down whatever, and then whatever, right? It's I see these articles. I don't know if it's true, but then I hear all these podcasts of these top scientists. That there's one guy who went on Smartless who was I think helped invent CRISPR, and he talks about the benefits of fasting and how I guess it's different now, of course, I know, but back then humans, they're nomads, and they're not really, they're opportunistic eaters and hunters and whatever, right? And so yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to try it. I don't know if I'll feel any different or anything like that. Obviously I won't really see probably won't see a huge benefit for just doing this one time, but if I think it's doable, maybe I'll start trying to incorporate fasting into my regular routine, but who knows?
What's the first thing you're going to eat when you're done fasting?
So that's a thing. Apparently you can't have anything too heavy. You have to kind of ease back into it. You have too much protein, you're going to have a stomach ache. So they recommend you like fruits and vegetables to kind of warm your stomach up. Nothing too acidic.
Would you say
Hayden, you
something
wanna
that's
speak?
like the size of an airplane meal?
Yeah, something like that. Oh,
ETG up.
yeah, that was a home run right there. Are you guys flying anywhere anytime soon or this year?
Not this year.
I
no.
wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you guys? I want to get into this actually because I'm just out of curiosity. How early? Let's say you guys are going international flight. How early do you guys go to the airport? Flight's at 7 p.m. What time do you arrive at the airport?
Whatever
gosh.
what is it? It's like 4 hours now, isn't it? So
I thought it was 3 for international, but whatever is recommended, I'll probably be 30 minutes before that.
Right.
And even
I'm an early
domestic, I'm
guy too.
earlier because I
Yeah.
feel if I'm waiting around, like I can wait at the airport just as easily as I can wait at home, and I'd rather just wait there.
Yeah, and you don't have to
It's
go
just
through all the
personal
anxiety
preference.
and stress for being
Yeah,
late or hitting traffic or something like that, right?
yeah,
I'm like that too. I don't know how people can wait to the very last minute and go
yeah,
less than 2 hours before. I mean, I get it because all the times in the past few years I've been traveling to international destinations, it never takes that long. It never takes longer than 2 hours, but it's also just why, like why would you put yourself in a position to
hmm
potentially miss and then get all stressed and then it will affect your partner or whoever you're with. Yeah, I don't get that, but I
What
do
about
want to
Hayden? How
know.
long for you? Just what
Yeah,
it
yeah, no,
recommends?
sorry, yeah, Hayden, you said 4 hours for international flight.
Yeah, I thought that he had bumped it up. I used to think it was 3 hours, and then I like to be there the right amount of time, but then Alex likes to be there the little bit extra right amount of time, and then I'm always slow out of the house, so she'll say we have to leave at this time, when in fact she means this time. So I'll be ready earlier. She tricks me like that.
Right,
She's like,
that's
we're gonna
smart.
leave. We gotta leave at like
And I
12:45.
do that with my children.
Yeah. And does it work for them? Does it work for them?
Yes.
Yes. See, well, once I have my own kids, maybe I'll be clued into it enough to be like, "You're lying to me.
Yeah.
I know
We
what's
have our
going on."
clocks all set 6 to 10 minutes ahead in this house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that in my car. My car
Yeah.
clock is
Yeah, same.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I
My
want to
mom
talk a
was
little.
just
Oh,
here and she
sorry, go ahead.
goes, yeah, my mom, because my parents were just here and she's like, oh, right, that's not the right time. Melissa always does that too. I was like, yeah. She's like, well, if you know it's always 8 minutes ahead, if you know it's 8 minutes ahead, then you know the real time anyways. I was like, yeah, mom, but it makes a difference. It does. I'm
It
telling you.
does. It does.
Like it
Yeah.
puts the pressure on when you see the time. Like you're like, because I find, at least with having kids,
Hmm.
if you think, all I need is 5 minutes to get ready, no, no, bro. It's
Never.
like you think that, and then somebody has this, and then they spilt water, then you're about to leave, and they didn't pee, and did you remember to bring this? No, where is it? I told you to put it here. It's not here. I can't find. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, no, man, you need time.
Right.
So everything's just set ahead to just, I don't
Yeah.
know. Even though we all know it, even the kids know it. Even the kids know the clocks are ahead. But
Yeah. So I think also the trick is to set it a kind of a weird number, not 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, but something. Mine's 7 minutes, because sometimes it's harder for me to do the math when quick
right,
math. But it says 5:23, and then I'm okay, whatever, and I just know I need to hurry
yeah.
up. But what I'm curious about is what your take is on airplane etiquette. Now, what I mean by that is there has been some talk recently I've seen online about people saying that if a flight is below, let's say, 4 hours, that people shouldn't even recline their seats. Okay. I am one of those people who will recline regardless because it's not comfortable for a taller person. Hayden, I'm sure because I try to get the seat with the leg space, the emergency one or whatever you want to call it. I'll even pay a little extra for leg space. Maybe not for a 2-3 hour flight, but anything over four for sure. I'll try to get it. But if not, I'm sorry. As soon as the plane goes level, I'm going back. I will. I sometimes still will. One, I'll look on my phone's like reflection to see if what the person is like behind me first. If if he or she is kind of dozing out or whatever, then it's easier. But if not, I'll do a little bit like a halfway thing first to get them acclimated to my to me going back, and then eventually I'll go all the way back. But do you guys?
So it's like a double fuck. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm going back, and they're like, oh, and they adjust. and then you go back further.
Yeah, like, sorry.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if a person
Yeah, I know your
in
type.
front of me, then
Yeah, I
I'll
know-
do it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know your type. The Shao is when the seatbelt, the cigarette light or whatever, when that you take that as like it's okay to recline your seat time.
That's right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
ding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you guys opposed to that?
No, I mean, you pay for the seat. You should be able to do what you want in that seat. It's, that's what I think. But again, yeah, you got to check who's behind you, because you could have some kid who likes to put his knees in your back and push your seat. I've had one of those before, so I kept it upright, and then they couldn't reach it. So I was like, fucking, it's a kid. I'll let him go. I'll let him go. But I think you're all in the same boat. If you recline, like, I get it. Planes like to cram as many people as they can into the space to make it profitable for them. And then when that seat goes back, it makes it a little harder to maneuver, but you paid the money for that seat. You should be able to do what you want, like, within the rules of the plane, that is,
Hayden, are you a window or aisle person?
I am an aisle person, just for the leg room. And it's also easy to get up and walk around. See, I like to go for walks on planes to keep, for
you're
fear
one of
of
those.
DVT. Because I'm like,
Are you one of those guys who fucking go to that little area besides the bathroom and start doing stretches?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, for fuck! Because that's usually my seat.
At the
Next to the
back of the
bathroom,
plane, though.
yeah.
At the back of the plane, not in the middle section.
Okay, fine. That's,
I go to the
that's a little
back.
bit better. Justin, are you a window or aisle?
Aisle. Same reason. I need to be able to get up, especially long international ones. I know, like when I flew back from Canada the first time, when Hayden and I went, we flew back separately because I'd be back for a wedding.
Yeah.
And I made the mistake of not picking my seat, and I got put in the middle aisle where it's 4, and then in. And my knees, I think it's from what was like all the walking and just being on concrete, like they on that plane, which sitting there inactive, man, I honestly contemplated jumping out of the fucking plane. Like it hurt. They were in so much pain, and I kept getting up to walk around because I needed to stretch them. And then after asking the woman beside me so many times, like, oh, excuse me, I just finished the plane until the seatbelt sign went on in the back. And I just kind of would, but that was like specific for the knees that time. But normally most of my flights are domestic. I fly a lot domestically, so not as long as the international ones, but I'm still aisle. Because I need to, like, the bathroom is my safety net, so I need to know, and I don't want to have to bother people.
Right.
I used to be like, when I was younger, I always used to want the window, right? Oh, I gotta look out the window. And now I'm like, fuck, I need to be able to, like, where's the pooper? Where is it in case I need it?
So oddly enough, even though I need the leg space, I'm a window guy because I like the lean. I like to lean against the window to sleep because I can sleep pretty easily on planes. And for some reason, my body can go into shutdown mode and I don't need to go to the bathroom, even if it's a 15-hour flight, which is, I think it's also a blessing because I know a lot of people who, to get up and they feel bad, if they're sitting in the window having to, excuse me, that kind of thing. But I can wait until, let's say, the person beside me on the aisle gets up and goes, then I can go then too. But I agree with you, Hayden, when you said if you pay for the ticket, you should do what you want with it. But my pet peeve is when you fly a red eye and they dim the lights and stuff now, right? There are people who read and they turn on the light and it's so bright that I guess
mask,
that's
bro.
why they have eye masks and stuff like that. But I don't sleep with eye masks. I can't sleep with eye masks. I don't like something like touching my face or whatever. My routine now is, okay, airport routine, get there early. I'm usually one of the later ones to board because when people say, okay, the gate's open, everyone swarms. And I don't want to stand for that long. So just kind of sit until I don't have to wait in line. I'll get to my seat. And then I always have a mask now. I wear a mask because, like I said, I sleep. And when I sleep, I have my mouth open. And it's just embarrassing. I don't, exactly. I look like, Weekend on Bernie's kind of thing. I'm just like,
Shirt rolls up, gut hangs out. Mouth
think-
wide open, drooling.
Exactly. So with the whole pandemic thing, people started wearing more people start to wear masks on planes, and I have kept doing that since, and I like that.
I don't mind the seat going back thing. I'm kind of
Yeah.
in the same boat as you guys. Like, you know, it's your seat. It can recline. Recline. Don't be an asshole, you know, however that would look. But, you know, fine if you want to recline. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me, and this isn't even just necessarily airport etiquette, it's just etiquette sitting next to somebody. Okay.
No.
I was at, as you know, I lost my wallet over May long weekend. So I was at an ICBC service center, whatever the fuck they're called. I need to get a new ID. So I go there. I booked this in advance, like 2 weeks in advance, because you got to book. And so I get my ticket number, and I'm sitting, and I take a spot. And there's a spot on either side of me. And there's kind of spots spread out throughout. And this guy comes, and I'm not on my phone. I'm just sitting there. Every time the little ding, I look up. My number? No. Fuck. Okay. And this guy sits down next to me, and he just starts like shaking his leg, man, just like gyrating, just. And the whole, and like all the seats are like attached, like it's you know how it's kind of like the one bar, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? And I kind of like look over, and he's sitting there, and he's just on his phone, and his leg is just going to town. And I just wanted to be like, dude, the fuck, can you stop shaking your leg? You're shaking this whole bench.
Yeah.
But I didn't, because I'm Canadian. So I went full passive aggressive. And then I just put my leg right beside his and started shaking my leg as fast as I could.
To even out the vibrations.
It cancels out. Yeah.
How do you like it now? For me, it's just, it's just like knowing how to respect other people's space when you have to sit by them, whether that's on a plane or wherever. If you are just being respectful, then recline, don't recline, wear a mask, fall asleep, turn the light on. That doesn't bother me.
Now, if you were flying, okay, in this scenario, you guys are flying solo, okay, and you got your preferred seat. Is there any situation where you would be willing to swap with someone if someone came up to you and asked, "Do you mind switching seats with me because blank?" Because I've done it once before and I regretted it. I got my window seat, and then there was a older lady who wanted to sit next to her husband, and they were both seniors, and I, without even asking where her seat is, I said, sure. I felt bad, and her seat was in the middle fucking aisle, in the middle, like where Justin sat for the can seat, pretty much. And it was like a 6-hour flight, and I was just like, this is the worst decision I've ever made. But I just didn't know how to. I'm like, maybe the Canadian in me, I just don't know how to say, "Ooh, sorry, like I paid for this." And
I think that's
maybe
exactly how you say it.
You maybe should have
guess
checked
so.
it earlier and picked together.
Listen, if I'm on a flight with my family and somebody wants to switch me seats, I will fucking jump at the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. Middle aisle.
you and Kate have to
perfect.
fight for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But Hayden, is there like first of all, has that ever happened to you? Did you ever swap before?
I've never swapped. It's only ever been happened to me once, but that was we were split on the plane, but we were on either side of the aisle, so we were technically sitting next to each other, but with the aisle in the way. And someone wanted to switch with me, and I was like, "No, I'm good, mate." Like, because they didn't know that I was with her, but I'm like, I'm just sitting like clearly by myself. It's like, I'm okay staying here. Like, she's there, I'm here. So it's only ever happened to me once, and I didn't want to move because we were already split, and Alex was anxious of plane flying at the time, because I think it was our first flight back to Australia. So we went to, you jump to Hawaii first, and then you do Australia, which is, so it's not so long.
Right.
So I was like, no, I'm not leaving her, because that would be bad.
Fair. Justin, did you want to say something?
Uh,
So Justin, going off
yes.
your just etiquette in general in seating. Here's a question, right? So if there's 3 seats, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 hand rests. How many do you get per seat? Who gets to have their arms on 2 armrests?
The person in the middle,
The person in the middle, because they get the raw deal. They're stuck in the middle.
because they get the raw deal. They don't get the leg room or the lean, so they get the 2 armrests. Every seat should have its benefit, right?
That
That's
makes
the
sense.
benefit to the middle seat. When you get into the 4-seat middle lanes, that's when it gets dicey, because the 2 inside people, they just need a double there, so both
Yeah.
inside people get 2 arms. But I'll go, yeah. So that's sort of my thinking, is like, hey, I got the window, the lean, I got the leg room, you get the double arm.
That makes sense.
It's very diplomatic. It's a good one.
I'm a very diplomatic person. You guys know this. Don't pretend like you don't know this.
I do know this. I think
Shao knows this.
the main reason
Do I
why
know
I
this?
remember also why I gave the seat up was because I also thought that if I say no, then the whole plane ride I would feel so awkward being next to the husband. You're the older gentleman, and not that he's gonna do anything because he was very sweet, but just
You just
I
would you
have
feel
the
pressure?
energy. Yeah, I have that energy of guilt
Yeah.
and I
What
would
if
imagine
you're
every
just
time he's like looking around for for the wife, I'd be like, oh,
Where's my
fuck,
wife?
you know?
Where's my wife?
He falls asleep, he's talking about her in his dreams. No, but you know what? You maybe, or you stay there and just spend the whole plane trip trying to like befriend him. Just everything. Just so you can leave the plane best friends.
What if he was
Yeah,
like a
that'd be-
little bit
yeah.
senile though, and he thought you were his wife? Would you play along with it, or?
Ooh, great question.
Absolutely.
Why don't we
not.
play this out? No.
Absolutely.
Why not?
You be the senile old guy, Hayden. You
I
can't
guess that's
use your
true.
Black Michael joke or voice.
Oh, he's a black
I've had a
Michael
few
voice.
people who I've had a few people who really like to talk to me when I'm next to them, even when I gave the cues of putting the pillow up or the headphones on. and
Oh, I'm
stuff
so
like that.
sleepy.
Mm.
Yeah, and I also have a thing with the people waking me up for. Actually, I guess I don't know if it's protocol for them. I guess they do have the thing now on the screen where you can say "Do not disturb." But there have been times where I have that on and the person's still the flight attendant. You can't call them stewardess anymore, right? Flight attendant taps you on the shoulder and just goes, "You're about to miss your meal. Do you want a meal?" I'm like, "Fuck. No, thanks." And I go back. to
Okay, who are you flying with? Because I've been on plenty of flights where they don't give 2 shits if you're asleep. They'll just walk past you and you miss your meal.
Dude, this motherfucker flies first class, Hayden. Come
Dude,
on, bro.
Relax.
You kidding me? He's in
Relax.
business class. He ain't back within the
No.
Cattle class.
cattle cars,
No, where the peasants sit. No, I've only sat in business class,
the pisons.
I think once or twice.
Results.
And it was to Australia, actually, and it was great. It was fantastic.
For
It
sure.
was
the
one
Shall
of
we
those ones you go
go?
all the way down, and you can slide down.
Nice.
Do
See-
what's the worst etiquette you've run into on a plane, train, or automobile?
Okay, wait, hold on. Actually, so you reminded me what I was gonna say, which was, now in this situation, it is more so for Justin because I want to know about a parent's perspective.
Well, I know where this is going.
When I was a kid, I can't believe what my parents let me do on a plane because my brother and I,
Oh.
we would fly with other families, and of course we can't always sit in the same area or same spot. So my parents would let me and my brother unbuckle and go up and down the fucking aisles and talk and play with other kids, other friends. And I can't imagine how annoying that is as a passenger. So for Justin, have you flown with your kids recently? I mean, I know your youngest, has she been on a plane?
Great question. I'm sure I have flown with her. I don't know if we all 5 have actually. Um, I know definitely 4. I don't know about 5, but I thought you were gonna ask a question about like a crying baby or something.
I've
Because
been
God, I
lucky
know
lately. I've
that's
been lucky lately. Lately about
I've
not
you know,
crying babies.
as a parent, I can tell you, I don't feel it doesn't bother me, I should say, when there's a crying baby, because I can promise you this, there is nobody, and I mean nobody on that plane who feels worse than the parents of that child.
Yeah.
Like it is the, like you just feel like everybody on that plane hates you when your baby's crying. And when I hear a baby crying, I think, oh, that sucks. I know what those parents are going through. That's hard. And I know a lot of people, like I talk to my buddies, like, oh, fuck that, fuck the kids, and like, and I'm like, dude, like, they got to travel, people got to travel, and it sucks. And it sucks as a parent when you have a screaming child or a crying child. But as far as that, as far as your question specifically, I would not let my children do that. If we were flying with other families and maybe they had friends sitting somewhere else and they wanted to go sit with them and like maybe play in the seat or something, but I wouldn't let them play in the aisles
Yeah.
um and be disruptive just because, again, like etiquette. I just think, there's the space we pay, like was we talked about earlier. Hayden, you brought up, you pay for your ticket, you're paying for your seat, right? That's what you're paying for on a flight. Everything else is communal. The aisles, the washroom, but that seat, that's yours. Do what you want in your seat, almost anything. But when it comes to everything else, I think, I don't know, just be respectful of it. That's
No,
that's me.
no, that's very fair, and I think a lot of it's changed a little bit now. I don't know if you remember when we were younger when we all flew. Do you guys remember the arm seats had the cigarette flap or the ashtray flap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. God, I miss smoking on planes, eh? Yeah.
So that's wild. And also back then, if we have young listeners, there's no individual screens on in front of the seats. There's usually just one screen every what, like 10 rows or something like that.
Yeah,
I
and it
don't
was
know.
like 6 inches or something. Just popped out
A
of the
tiny
ceiling.
a tiny little screen, and they play one movie that you can't pick. It's a communal movie, and you have to plug in the headphones to listen to it, and they have all the censored versions and stuff like that. But do you guys have a I like to get my booze on the planes. I know, Justin, when you guys flew to Cannes, you guys discovered it was free alky free alcohol
It was amazing.
for you to consume. Yeah. Um,
Yep.
do you guys have like a
It's the only way to fly, man. uh, I I have not flown too much international, not as much as you two. You both, you know, Shao, you were living in Hong Kong for a while.
right?
Hayden, you're from Australia and you go on Hawaii trips. And so you fly more internationally than I do. I've flown a shit ton, like I said, domestic. And when I'm flying to Calgary or Edmonton pretty much. It's like an
So
hour 20. The plane
yeah,
gets
a
to
couple hours.
altitude and then it basically starts going down. Yeah.
Right.
So hour 20 is so it's really quick. So I don't really have a process for that. You know what I mean? Like I don't like, okay, this is when I'll be expecting my meal, so I want to start my movie now, or I'm gonna have my nap now, so that
Right.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's
I
hard
have a
for me to say on
routine.
that.
Yeah. I got a
But when
routine
I
now.
have flown, yeah, the couple times I've flown international, actually the two, for example, I flew with you, Hayden, but just stay up and then stay up until you land, and then it's morning when you land, and so you've basically been up almost 24 hours. Well, 24 hours, not
Some
yet, I
long
guess. But
time.
anyways,
Yeah.
time
Just long.
wise,
Yeah.
so then you have to spend the whole day awake, and then sleep, and then try and get over the jet lag. So yeah, just that also has a lot to do with who you're traveling with. But I think that's what would be my routine: is I'd watch movies, stay up, have some drinks, have some coffees, stay up, do some walking around, play some blackjack,
Oh yeah,
I would
They have-
try to
They have
stay
great
awake.
games now on those monitors. There's games you can play with other people in the seat too. You know, and on the plane, which I don't know if you've tried before.
What are you
Justin.
flying?
We
think they
played
have this
actual
No,
I just
blackjack
played.
and
We played
poker.
with real cards.
Yeah.
We played with real cards.
You can play. Oh, you okay? You can
He
play,
had to teach me so that we were ready for the casinos.
What was it? You can play. What's it called? Battleship.
That's right.
In some of these, you know what I mean, with different people on the plane. It's pretty fun. I will say.
Wouldn't that be funny if it was like battle planes or something? So you're trying to take down other people's airplanes. You took down my 747.
This guy says he's going to take down the plane.
That's right. I don't know. My mind goes places. Yeah. You imagine waking up. You're sleeping next to that. You wake up. Airplane down. Airplane down.
I will close out my topic with one thing that I thought was brilliant, which is a airplane prank that was I guess played on me. Was that so? There have been a couple of years where I was flown down to CES, which is an electronics sort of fair, in that's always held in Las Vegas in January. And so there have been a couple of times where my friends have booths and they want me to help them with whatever task for a few days, and they would actually fly me down, which is very nice of them. But in doing so, they're pranksters. And there's one time when I was just sitting and it's mealtime, and then I got a tap on my shoulder saying, "Oh, are you Xiaopin? Are you Xiaopin Choi?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." Say, "Oh, you ordered the special meal, right?" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Oh, and then it kind of clicked. I'm like, "Oh, sure,
Yes.
yeah." He said, "Okay, okay, just gonna check." And I'm like, "What the fuck's a special meal?" And then it gets brought to me, and it's Indian curry, and it's just the smelliest. First of all, it was good, but it's just the moment you open the thing, I see people look at me. You know, I see
like a
people
fart
from
in
the
a
other side.
bag.
They're like looking, and I'm like, "Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm just eating this." And then so that's one part of it, and then the second part of it, the same flight, it's same lady comes back and asks me if I still need my wheelchair to pick me up when I exit the plane. I'm like, "Oh God."
I would have been like,
So
yes,
did they pre-do this when they
please.
booked the flight for you?
So they
booked
booked the
that?
flight, and they got me the Hindu meal and request for a wheelchair, which I thought, okay,
hilarious.
well done, very well done. They did another time with you can get, is it kosher meals where they have to be blessed by a rabbi or something like that, and surprisingly that was really good. It was some sort of penne, and I'm about to start getting that more often. Yeah, but I might be, the reason why I also brought this up is because I in the middle of maybe booking a flight to Bali for a wedding in September, and hope I get my window / emergency exit seat.
Yeah. But speaking of flights, we should probably fly on out of here and wrap this thing up, because it is time, folks. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We appreciate your time. If you appreciate the show, don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen. Follow us on socials: Chummy Thumbs, TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube, wherever you want to find us. We're there. So until next week, make sure y'all keep on thumbing.